Okay, I'm in my backyard. I'm going to do this one more time, only I'm not as fat as I was the first time I did it, and I don't look like crap. Here is all the stuff that I actually preserved that I kept a little bit over all of my career. This is an award from the Imperial Court of Alaska from Paul and Ken Butner, when they were Duke and Duchess in 1995, where I was their advisor when they did all of their personal appearances for hair and makeup. This one is from Miss Michelle Martin when I sponsored her for the Mrs. Alaska America pageant, and she sent me a letter, and it was in June of 2006 when I worked at Compliments Hair Salon. I leased my station up there. And blah 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 blah. Then I gave away a car, and I'm not bullshitting because it was to the Kids Foundation, and it was in 2004, and this is when I worked for Hair Addiction on Fireweed Lane, and it was for the Kids Foundation Incorporation, and I gave it away. There it was. They couldn't even believe it. The guy burst into tears and started crying. When I worked at Hair Addiction, I donated to Magic 98.9 for free 15 haircut coupons, and was on the air for that. And then in 2004, my friend and nail artist, who is still my friend even though she's not doing nails as much, Mary Bess, and I ran and got involved in the Imperial Court of all of Alaska ourselves to hold titles. And the year that we got involved, we were Crown Prince and Princess. The organization gave away $80,000 in scholarships to qualified applicants. And they didn't have to be gay, lesbian, transgendered, bisexual, questioning, allied, and or othered. They just had to be a qualified applicant because the money was green. And we had a blast raising money. And this is from her, and it says, "For being my prince." She was a sweetheart, and there was her pictures that she would let die, and my pictures. But of course, we've seen this all before, so that was the end of Wall of Fame 1. Here is where we did a ladies' night promotion in 2003 at Hot Rods, which I have videos on all over the place, but because we have short-term memory loss in this country, nobody remembers. And it explains what would happen, what would we be getting, blah, 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 and how much. And I love Misty and Renee. They are both still my Facebook friends to this day. And it shows all of the time that we did it. Let's say we started in November of 2003. And then we went in January of 2004 and February of 2004. Ugh, God, it was exhausting. Oh, hey, I did find it on here. Then, so there's KGOT, Latitude 61. The bar is bombed down, and it is a parking lot now. All that money they spent. In 2006, I was a donor to Channel 7 and KSKA. I gave gift certificates away for auction. That was a lot of fun. They can come hit me up for that again because I really enjoyed that and got a lot of recognition for that. Way back in 1996 when I had my business out at my parents' lodge, I went and decorated the Native Association using my ever fabulous gay powers to decorate the whole place, and it blew their mind. They brought me back for 3 years and paid me. And Crystal Bess, who is still a contact and still a friend today, she was so much fun and kept that going, and I got paid to do it. Actually, it was really nice. There's the letter. I just laugh when I look at December 17th, 1996. Are you kidding me? Blah, blah, blah-de-dee, blah-de-blah. Hi, Crystal, I see you. Then the Scott and Stu morning show had a bet going on, and they lost the bet, and they had to be done up in drag. Not cute drag, because how cute are Scott and Stu going to be? Blech. And, oops, sorry, guys. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I went in there and did their makeup while they were talking on the radio, and then they had to walk over to Denny's, which is now gone. That's how much things change. on Diamond and sit there and eat breakfast in drag while they were doing a remote on the radio. And there is their thank you letter from everybody involved and their glorious picture. I will never let them ever live that down as long as I live. And then there's my license from Washington, Poofaroo. I passed it. And here's something that I was looking for. It's from 1998. I worked for Third Dimension Cuts of Alaska. Joanne Buell was totally the best boss I'd ever had. I had gone through my divorce, was going through my divorce. I had the 2 kids on my back, being the whole, oh, I'm divorced, I'm a hairdresser, I got 2 kids, blah, 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 I'm 28. Or 27 or whatever it was when I started in 28 when she closed the business. There was a point to where there was only a month left and she didn't realize she was going to have a staff. And she called me back personally, came over and asked me if I would come work for that month for her because of the type of work I did, the type of person I was, even though I was all screwed up, partying at Coots all the time, and how much she loved my personality, which I have never forgotten her for. I had an amazing last month with her and bawled my brains out when we closed the salon. But here is her letter, and what I really like is, I am pleased to provide this letter of recommendation to support Joseph Williams. I've known Joseph Williams since June of 1997, at which time he became employed with me as a senior design artist by Third Dimension Cuts, a company which I have owned for the past 12 years. I know Joseph to be responsible, reliable in meeting his professional responsibility. Joseph displays friendliness and professionalism when he is dealing with both co-workers and customers. He is very knowledgeable and up-to-date on color, perming, and cutting techniques and current trends. Joseph participates in continuing education on a consistent basis. While it saddens me to lose Joseph as a friend employee, I have decided at this time to close my business and relocate out of Alaska. It is without hesitation that I recommend Joseph Williams and confirm that it will be a positive asset to any company. Please feel free to contact me, blah, 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 which she moved. How could you do that? And there she is, her fabulous autograph. I miss you, Joanne. Now that we're getting old, it'd be fun to hang out. When I was way out in the bushes, I went to college. And I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. I went to school in the fall of 1996, and I made academic achievement. I actually had a 3.75 and then a 4.0. Yeah, hard to believe. Prince William Sound Community College Fall Academic Achievement. January 8, 1997. Divorce year! That's right. And here it is. I love this letter. I've saved it. It's on the letter of fame here. And it says, Dear Joseph, I am pleased to congratulate you on your academic success you achieved at Prince William Sound Community College for the fall semester of 1996. Please find the enclosed certificate of recognitions, blah, 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 blah. And on here was one of my instructors, Cindy Preller, and she says, yes, Joseph, you did this. I had her autograph it to prove it because I couldn't believe it. And people didn't believe me years later. They're like, oh my God, you're a hairdresser and you're supposed to think? And I'm like, shh. Oh my God, all I'm supposed to do is just look at you and be like, ugh, your clothes look like crap, let's do your hair. Surprise. Then in 2005, when I was the manager of Beautiful for my then friend, Elodia Boniface, which I love her mom and I love her grandmother, and I love her brother, but her and I had a huge falling out. I made it a point to make sure that we donated lots of items for their auction. And I was met with a little bit of resistance at first because what were we really going to get for that? And what we really got for that was people came in and they spent money with us. That's what we got for it. So there's the letter thanking me, thanking the salon, blah, blah, blah. Back in 2005, here was a donation I gave to the 4-H. We gave away $5 off coupons, like 3 or 4 of them or whatever it was, and they passed them out at a fundraiser they had, auctioned them off, made $5 a piece, that's all we could afford at the time, and helped raise money for HIV awareness and making sure that people who come in and seek treatment at the time could get treatment. Even though it was a minimal donation, we still participated. There's the letter. Gotta love that. Then over here, Imperial Court of all of Alaska, Alaska Makeup Queen. That's when we were downtown. And you can be creative and have differences, and you can cuss and holler at each other. And if you're true friends in the long run, it doesn't really matter if you fight, because you just get over it and you move on to the next thing. At least I'm learning that better. We had fun though. I think it was a lot of fun. He's got 18 episodes of me all fat somewhere in a can. God awful. I don't even know. He's like, you're hitting your stride like after 2 weeks. I'm like, hitting my stride? It's you should just put it out there. But he's a perfectionist, and there was the creative difference. But I think there was probably some hilarious to me, and I'm the one watching, and so are the people. I mean, I think it would be really funny to see some of those episodes, even though they're just like, some of it was just fun. The one about lice would be interesting. That would be funny. The one about the shaved bald haircut, I just really wanted to see that, because it's like, what would you do with Sarah Palin's hair? I mean, just on and on and on. Even though they're there somewhere, just seeing them would have rocked. But here was the video. I still run into these people. I still go to this dentist. His wife was in it. And the little band has since done its thing, and the kids have all moved on. But it was a very interesting learning experience. There was a couple of cool video clips that the kids did that they gave to me that are all up on my YouTube page. But they made it in the TV, and there's Patrick and Sean and Tammy. Yes, she was a rock star. Here is some more. A thank you from Cyrano's. It is, they were really fun people. I really enjoyed working with Sandy. She's entertaining. She's got Scarlett down there working. Scarlett's a client of mine. I really enjoy her. And clients, but it's a thank you from Sandy, and I've read this over and over, but I will read it again. It says, Dear Joseph, through your expertise in magic, you have transformed wigs that were just lying in boxes into beautiful creations that really contributed towards the production values and successes of 3 of our shows, Shakespeare in Hollywood, Hansel and Gretel, and most recently Sylvia. We also appreciate your skill with makeup and your mentorship to one of our actors, especially the actor who had to play Luella Parsons. We look forward to working with you again, not only because of your talent, but because of you are so much fun. And when you say yes, you make a total commitment to the project. Warmest regards, Sandy Hopper. I love her. She is a riot. And it was fun to work with her. I have not worked with her in about a year because of... We've talked about stuff. We didn't actually get down there and get to work because of time restraints, but shit, let's go. Let's do something fun again. And then these were certificates of appreciation and recognitions and awards back to the Imperial Court because of my involvement with them. Each year they pass out as many scholarships as they can afford, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 in scholarships. They promote the Pride Parade and the Pride Festival, and they donate. I mean, they're major contributors to a lot of things, and people want to know what the court's all about. That's a whole nother video, and I will go into it, but here's my certificates that I've received in the past. This one was when I was ICP. It was from Guy. It was for helping out doing intervention. This one was when Kristara was in there, and it was for helping her hair. I must have did her hair like every day. This is when she was regent. I did her hair every day again. This was every day I do her hairs. All of them. It was too much fun. And now John does her hair, and I love John. Anyway, John and Tim, they're like 2 for 1. I think that's fun. This was one we were given because we were doing HIV outreach and intervention, and we had some friends that had become HIV positive and went and sat with them in the hospital when no one else would touch them. And then I gave a client, it was his last haircut he ever received, and then he had passed away 2 weeks later after that because of HIV, and the people wouldn't deal with him. They wouldn't treat him like a human being, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? In this day and age, you're fucking kidding me. Well, this day and age, but Sarah Palin doesn't tell you, this day and age in fucking Anchorage, Alaska. Oh my god, I start cussing because it pisses me off. It was such a horrible thing. I could burst into tears right now about it. But he was lying in the bed. It was so a mess. We couldn't get people to help me. They were talking about the fact that he was terminal when they left the room. So they left me with him. So I got him out of the bed, cut his hair. We had a great chat. And then I wrestled him back into the bed. And it was hard. He was really embarrassed. And I told him, I said, oh my God, get over it. When was the last time you had a guy this hot trying to wrestle you into bed when your butt's hanging out? And he smiled. I mean, what can you do for people? People say I'm obnoxious and that I'm rude and that I'm all of these things, but you know what? I've been there on people's deathbed and made them laugh before they went when all they wanted to do was cry. And when he passed on, I was so sad because, not that he got to pass on, because I know that he's out of pain, in a better place, he gets to go back to white light. And the fact that he had to endure that was his karma for whatever the reason was, that he had to endure the people discriminating against him. And it changed the way I thought about people. It made me angry. I was like, how dare you people think you are so much better that somebody who has a disease, you treat them like shit. What is wrong with you? And then I watch people get sick afterwards and go, I don't even like the way people are treating me. And I'm like, the Great Spirit gave me this big ol' mouth, and with this big ol' mouth, I say, turnabout is fair play. You get what you sow. You fucking put it out there, it came back to you, and now you're sitting around going, oh, why is this happening to me? When 10 minutes ago, you wouldn't touch that man because he had HIV. Give me a break. Anyway, off my soapbox and back over here. Whew! Girl, I'm channeling my evil side. Anyway, these were just pictures of me and projects I did in the past. And this was my esthetician scores. I love them. Facial massage, 96. Skin and eye care, 100. My written exam was 79. My waxing removal was 100. And my makeup was 100. Yay! The written test, I told myself 76% was passing. Don't panic. I got a 79. Yay! I passed it. There was when I went to esthetician school, Academy of Hair Design, a diploma right there. Various pictures that we've all seen of me, blah, 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 blah. Various pictures of me working, all seen them. My friend Suzanne gave me some cool prayers that every now and then when I get depressed, I start looking at them and reading them and they pick me up. This was a production that I helped do some wigs for after I had reached, I did help in 1999. I spaced it out because 99 was so intense. It was called Soapy Smith, and it was really interesting because there was a couple of people's wigs, a couple of ladies' wigs that I worked on. It was really hard, and then the whole production made the newspaper, which was really cool. Life and Arts. There's Patrick. He was in it. He's one of my Facebook friends. Oh, there's the picture from when I was a teenager. Oh my God. Ugh. Hi, Amanda. Yikes. There is my friend Desiree. She does pictures, and I did a couple of weddings for her. There's Miss Kim and her official picture and her thank you. Yes, Miss Kim. I love her. She's getting ready to have a baby. Pop out any minute. And then Valentine's wishes from clients. So, and then at the very end of it all was my first diploma. 3rd day of June in 1989, my diploma from Trendsetter School of Beauty. I've seen Letha and her husband around. Barbara, my other instructor, but didn't start with my class, is now down in Tri-Cities, Washington, has her own school. She is a Facebook friend of mine. Hi, Barb. And Connie has since passed away from cancer, and strained relationship or not, it was really, she is an amazing woman that taught me a lot of things. James Lane was also the instructor that started with our class, and he taught me more about how to shampoo hair and how to schmooze your client at the end of a service than anyone has ever taught me in 1,000 years. Oh my God. He died. He crashed his plane into a mountain. When I found that information out years ago, I just cried my guts out. He used to take a bicycle trip every year from Anchorage to Valdez, then get on the ferry, get off on Woodare and bicycle back to town. And each year he would come by the lodge or come by my house or come by my shop out there in Glen Allen the 6 years I was out there, and stop by and say hi or have a beer or set up his tent and bullshit and eat pizza, not just come and teach me hair. So it was really interesting that the connection lasted after beauty school and still taught me stuff afterwards. You know, oh, how's that going? Oh, I would do this. Oh, I'd rinse that. Oh, I'd pay attention to this, blah, blah, blah. And he could party like crazy. And Letha, she could party. Oh my God, she taught me more about, she says, it's not bad to be a bitch in this business. She says it's bad when you treat people like they're a bitch. They were really, really, really happening. And what I really like is that they were really good about sending me thank you letters, which I like thank you letters. So, there is all my grades. Gotta love the grades. And the proof, Wall of Fame. Over here are pictures and thank yous and advertisements and whatever else we did. And clips that I kept, photo of the lodge, cards from clients, and clippings from the paper. So there we are down when we worked at Beautiful and we were in the newspaper. It's a shitty thing, but there it is. We were putting the window together. We got known for doing a window. There's the lodge. We did, the year we were ICPs, we won Grand Marshal Award and we won Best in our category for our flow when it was the 70 years. So that was 5 years ago. We had this amazing team of people and my son and Heather and the baby was in there somewhere. I think he was sitting in the car all pissed off. He had to cry, but there we all are. Oh yeah, by the way, thank God I'm fabulous. Thanks, Aunt Kim. Then just other pictures and stuff, and then this was from telling way back in 1989 when I took my test and I passed it. Wanda Sims was a licensing examiner. There's Mom. There's one of my clients, Mrs. Alaska Kim. Client, she comes and goes. There's my son, my dad, and I. My other son's hands, and then there was an ad that Mary Beth and I put in the paper, and it was so funny. Suffering from a cheap haircut, color, or nail service? Let us fix it. Joseph and Mary Beth at Hair Addiction. It's so funny. Back in those days, we just kind of did whatever we wanted to do. There is... when I was ICP again, there is Miss Kim at her thing. There is education on Schwarzkopf color. There is a title that I had, Supreme Perpetuator of Drama, which was really hilarious. There is Great Lakes Academy when I went in 2001. Then, a couple years ago when Obama got elected, we did a show, made the front page of the newspaper, blah, 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 about the YouTube stuff. The show is now stopped production, but it's still out on YouTube. Happy birthday, YouTube. Here it all is, yes. Obama and me on the same page. I love that. Sarah Palin was pissed off because we knocked her off the front page of the newspaper. There I am at Cyrano's where I donated my time and effort. There's Sean, there's me. There's me, only fatter. Got to love that. Here is a movie that I worked on that got shown in the Civic Center in Valdez. We went over to New Zealand with a group of friends and we shot it. The whole film over there. It was a lot of fun. There's another one of my clients on her wedding day and me, fatter. There is business review that was done for me in February of 2002. And it was really interesting to have what they said about me in the newspaper. I couldn't stop laughing. They made it sound so good. And then lots of thank yous from the people letting us put out AIDS ribbon, an old ad that we did. Kim Hewitt and I, after she'd won the Mrs. Alaska, taking a picture, me fatter. And just thank you stuff, messages from clients, thank you cards that I would get. In 2006, I really loved Kelly Davis. She is one of my Facebook friends. And helped her out with the pageant and gave her some pointers on how to walk, how to talk. And she wrote me this beautiful card and sent it to me, and I really appreciate it. Michelle, when she was at the Mrs. Alaska America pageant, representing Alaska, and it's the card that she sent me that I really thought is funny, and I kept it. And then years ago, we sponsored a Jennifer Lopez concert, or it was a Jennifer Lopez look-alike contest. And we got $100 cash and a makeover from when I worked at Hair Addiction, so it cost me $100, and they got a makeover. Dun da da. Yeah, that's how you whore yourself out. Way, 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 way back in the day, when the business was in the lodge, We did a beauty pageant for the kids, and my ex-sister-in-law, Candy, she's one of my Facebook friends. So my ex-wife is one of my Facebook friends now as well. But we did this show at the lodge. There's me, fatter, with long hair. Ugh, oh my God. So we did this whole thing in the Country Journal. Which, interesting story, follow up to this, is I ran into this lady last year that produced this Country Journal, North Country Communications, and I talked to her, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I remember, I still have a copy of it all, and she goes, I wonder why we did that. I was like, well, I thought it was because you liked me. Apparently not. That was funny. Then here is a movie that we worked on, and an interview that got done, and it's the Anchorage Chronicle. And there's my picture in it, which I kept clippings of it. There is what they interviewed me, you know. It says, Williams says he enjoys the more over-the-top makeup films let him do. He also was the hairdresser for Mrs. Alaska 2000. Yeah, that's right. Going from that, Mrs. Alaska, to film, it is a little different, he said. With film, there's not a lot... Excuse me. With film, there is a lot more latitude to be creative. Joseph was also part of a crew that shot Potts' film The Last Brick in the McKay building in August of 2002. Enter film. Next thing you know, I get called by a friend of mine, come work and do film. Of course, I don't get paid to do it, but we get fame. We ain't got no money, but we got the fame. Now, it's time for the money. I'm ready for it. I see it everywhere around me. I'm raking it in. Raking it in, darling. And then this is when Michelle won. This is her and her husband in the paper. Aww. And then there is her court. Aww, they look so pretty. This is the production that I did for Cyrano's, and I did the hair design, and I did makeup for them, and I did wigs, and they gave me the lighting design, hair design, Joseph Williams. Yes, I've not only acted, but I've actually worked behind the scenes in theater. They keep trying to get me back on the stage, and I'm like, one of these days, darling, I'm ready. I like the camera better. I can edit myself. Here was Michelle's clipping for her winning dress, which was really cute. Now, also during the years, I went and would show off and have a blast at the local club in town called Coots and get lots of free publicity and advertising, your name blabbed all over the radio and whatever it took. But of course I had to wear a dress. So, Spinardi Gras Queen, I did it for 3 years in a row. Who is this bitch? Oh my God. I can't even believe it. I love you, Salvador. I miss him. He is so much fun. So that was our fabulous picture that was in the paper. It got even better when they turned it into a flyer and put it on every seat at the Aces games. And here you are at the Aces game, and a girlfriend of mine called me and says, oh my God, everybody in town is sitting on your face. Give me a break. Ha ha ha. I've always wanted to be a whore and let everybody sit on my face. Anyway, when I worked at Compliments, I helped with Hansel and Gretel, and I did the hair, and I did some wigs, so special thanks to Joseph Williams of Compliments Salon. Over here, Shakespeare in Hollywood, I did wig and makeup, Joseph Williams, wig and makeup. So, hello, eat your heart out. Now, what's on this one? I have all these pictures all over the place, but for A's Again in 2004 for donating. Fred Potts Films, The Last Brick, Meeting Place, Washroom, Carl, 2001, 2, 2, and 3, feature film, 2003, blah, 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 blah. We highly recommend Joseph Williams for any makeup projects he chooses to work on. Thank you very much, Fred and Kim. Harvest Wine Festival in 2000, what is it? It's on here. In 2005. Client who actually sent this to me, which still makes me giggle every time I look at it, her before and after. She was so cute. Kim and James for helping them. Melissa, past client of mine, past clients of mine, past clients of mine. And then in 2003, I did the women's show downtown, and we had a booth. We passed out thousands and thousands of free haircuts and cards. There's me looking all cute with the clown taking our picture. And then this was one of the years, and here was the Mrs. Alaska prize package, and it says hair care from the official hairstylist Joseph Williams.